I'm so inspired, Una, after you. I mean, just before I quickly go into introducing myself, that understanding your value, you know, when you come prepared to a talk and all of a sudden you hear someone speaking so beautifully that all your plans just go to pieces and you get inspired so much, which actually I realize it ties in beautifully with what I would love to share with you guys today here. My name is Joanna Choncer. I'm an intuitive skin and gut health coach. And like in this beautiful introduction, thank you so much. I do help women. I really empower them to take a full control of their health. And understanding your value is understanding how well you're actually looking after yourself so that you can truly share your message in the world. Most of the time, as women, we get so busy with our lives, with looking after family, our children, and we tend to put ourselves on a back burner. And the only really time when we start looking after ourselves is when the illness kicks in, which is often sometimes too late. And how I've managed to turn back the time and heal myself was actually experiencing emotional instability by being present, being brought up with an alcoholic father. So years of living with him and just feeling completely insecure about myself manifested itself in many actually physical illnesses. So I used to suffer with chronic acne all over my pretty much upper body and chronic bloating for years. And no doctors could find an answer to what was actually happening to me. And through somehow an intuitive instinct, started looking at holistic solutions and understanding that the root cause of my physical symptoms was deeper. I never really knew how to find it, how to address it. And as Uno so kindly shared, there's always a divine purpose. The answer always appears when we need the most. And in my case, it actually presented itself in a form of energy healing, which was something completely out of the blue. I didn't even know what energy healing was. But I just had that gut instinct that I needed to trust it. I needed to follow the way. I needed to follow the path, and the answers will reveal themselves. And through that journey, I discovered an immense power of our subconscious mind and how our subconscious mind can actually manifest various illnesses through our body. And it depends, if we're holding on to limiting beliefs or if we're holding on to empowering beliefs. And where they actually come from is often from our childhood, is often from our parents' experience. It's ancestral trauma that we tend to carry in our DNA. It's also collective consciousness. And I think especially now, health is our true wealth. What we've gone through over the last year, I think health has never been more important than it is now. So I am truly on the mission to really help women to connect to the limiting beliefs and to change them as quickly as possible, find their purpose, find their passion, unleash that voice. Because in my case, it was almost too late. I actually was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, Hashimoto thyroiditis, which thyroid is all about communication. It's our throat chakra. This is where we speak our truth, where we feel confident speaking our truth. And luckily, I think divine protection came to me at the right moment. And from being a very self-conscious, sick, quite overweight person, I've learned my way how to peel the layers of the onion, how to let go of all the limiting beliefs, how to find my truth, how to find the confidence to speak my truth. And through all of this work, I was divinely guided to become a qualified functional nutritionist and really unleash that power of nature, power of food, to heal our bodies and combine it together with the power of the mind and the ability to manifest actually our own healing and understand our true value, and then really pass that message to other women. Before you start kind of working really hard at your business or trying to inspire others, always look after yourself first. Make sure that you're priority, that you feed your body really well, that you look after your thoughts really well, that you understand that the gift that you've been giving, and whatever it is, whether you're a speaker, a coach, a healer, nutritionist, or somebody else, there's a value in there. So don't let your physical health stop you sharing that message with the world, and understand the value that you hold within. Thank you so much.
Wow. Really powerful story. Thank you, Joanna. Again, just evidence of how we are co-created, how much our environment. Somebody mentioned earlier on the system of the family, and you're speaking to that again, being conscious of what we've taken on from our past and what we're embodying. And then when consciousness, we get to actually say, does that need to define the future, or can we bring the power of our choice and our activism? And so I really love your message of saving ourselves. And I would love to connect with you as well. So please pop your info in the chat box as well, so people
Sure.
can follow up, because you touched on so many different modalities for looking at healing ourselves, that I think is really going to be of value to many people, because we've had several people speak to health and to wellness. And then again, this thing of heritage, that it doesn't have to be the weight that we think it is. It can actually be transformed to the gift that we want it to be. So thank you so much. If there are any questions for Joanna, I'd like to invite you to raise your hand or unmute yourself and just, lean into her story, and what is it that you want to pull out from it. Gertrude, I see you're unmuted.
Yes, thank you, Joanna. I know I had the privilege of doing an interview with you the other day, and I really managed to get into your head with a lot more time. One of the things that really struck me about your story was this realization of what was happening internally that was manifesting in the physical on the outside. And also the fact that sometimes we carry ancestral stories, we carry ancestral trauma, things that have happened in our lineage that then manifest in the present. Talk a little bit to that so people can really get it, because we had a lot more time when I was interviewing you, and you really addressed that in a very unique way.
So, I mean, that's a beautiful question. So when we actually look at where certain beliefs come from, we get to identify, if those are ancestral core beliefs. And if we think of, if you and I, we just come from two parents, our parents come from another two parents, and then we go, generations back. So I think it's actually scientifically proven that what we carry in our DNA are beliefs for up to 14 generations. So if you think of the immensity of the heaviness, sometimes all of these limitations that we carry on in our DNA. And the beautiful thing about theta healing as well as silent counseling, which are the two modalities that I use, is that we get to use kinesiology, muscle testing. So this is where that inner body and mind connection to get developed, and we actually get to find our own limiting beliefs. And it's not really about, oh gosh, I've got it, what do I do with it now? It's just quickly asking yourself, well, how has it actually been serving me throughout my life? Most of the time we tend to hold on to these limiting beliefs because we want to be a part of something. So we either want to stay close to our family members because that's how we've been brought up and that's how we know to be. Sometimes we feel guilty for leaving people behind, so we will hold on to them as well. There might be a fear of visibility, fear of leaving people behind. So through just this simple muscle testing, we get to identify it. And then through conscious decision, like Hani said, through conscious decision, it's like, I am willing to let this go now, and I am willing to learn this in a more empowered way. I got to learn my lesson, but now I get to I choose to be free, and shared my empowered message without getting sick, without feeling guilty, without feeling like I'm leaving anyone behind, because that's actually it's untrue. This is just the story that I've been telling myself for years. Can I just share one more quote that I actually found just before I'm jumping on a call, which I think is going to tie in beautifully with what Una shared. And it says, How cool is it that the divine force who created mountains, oceans, and galaxies looked at you and thought the world needed one of you too?